Hey, what's up, guys? In today's video, I'm doing a tier list. This took me kind of a while to get out, but there was a bunch of changes and things that got updated, reworked, tweaked, and 3 new elements. So it took me a little bit longer to get this out just because I was making sure I knew kind of where everything fell now. So yeah, but here it is after a week of the update being out. Before I do that, I'm doing a giveaway. To enter one giveaway, just comment and subscribe, and to enter the other, join the Discord. Okay, so to start off, I'm going to go from bottom to top. So we're just going to start in D tier, go to C, then B. I'm not going to pick from them randomly. I'm just going to tell you the worst to the absolute best. To start off, it's going to be super predictable down here. It's going to be like earth, water, fire, and where is it? Where? Why can't I see it? Oh, air. There it is. About in this order as well. And then sand as well. Sand is the newest rare element, and I played with it on an alt. It's obviously I didn't see it completely maxed out because my alt wasn't maxed out, but I can comfortably tell you it is not good. It's bad. It's what you'd expect from a rare. It's okay. There's not much to say about the rares. Air and water I think are the worst, and then earth, I think earth has like one pretty good ability. Fire, I would say that's at the top of the rares just because it is strong in the early dungeons when you would be using something like fire. And in my opinion, it was the funnest rare to use outside of obviously the next tier, the C tier. But out of the D tier rares, it was the funnest to use, in my humble opinion. I want to be super quick on the D tiers because there's nothing really much to say on them. They exist and that's it. But to start off the C tier, we're going to put nature. I think nature is going to be at the back of the C tier. I think it narrowly gets in, and it's then followed, in my opinion, by ice and smoke. Ice is just bad. Its abilities don't really do much damage at all. Like it's a frozen domain, I think is what it's called. It just doesn't do really anything, and it has just a lot of useless abilities. Like it's like ice barrage as well is not that good. Just too many of its abilities are not good despite being an epic, which feels weird when you consider that ice is the same rarity as light, yet they are wildly, they couldn't be more separate in like how good they are. Light is so much better than ice, but they're the same rarity. So like, at least rares, all of them are within like striking distance of each other. Light is so much better than ice, it doesn't even make sense how they're the same rarity. So it just sucks. And then smoke is the newest one. This is the one I'm really disappointed with because I thought smoke would be closer to like lightning or light, but it's just not good, and it's so unfun to use because when you're clearing dungeons with this thing, its abilities knock them around. It's actually the most annoying thing ever using this to clear dungeons because you'll be hitting them with one of the abilities, and pretty much all you'll be doing is just bouncing them up in the air, which means you can't even really use that ability to clear enemies because right when you hit them, they just get popped around, and you can't do anything, which is so annoying. And it's so unfun to use elements that do that with every ability. I think ice is like ice barrage does that as well, and it's just so annoying. I don't know why. I don't know why they do that because it's just not fun. I know it's probably to make sure the ability is being used on like bosses and stuff, I guess, but it just, I don't know. It immediately makes the ability worse because with these abilities, right? Like smoke has this one move, I don't know the name of it, but it shoots out a bunch of these like smoke arrows at people. It shoots out like boom, 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 boom. And they each do like 3,000 damage-ish, I think. I have a corrupted version, so probably less for a regular. But they each do a good amount of damage. But the problem is you can only ever hit like 1, 2, or 3. And then they're just pop into like the sky and you can't hit anymore. So it's mainly used for like boss damage. And then you have like the regular abilities, like its first move, which is solid. It's what you expect out of like all the first moves. It's just solid, does good damage, and you know, it's just whatever. So yeah, that's all for my C tiers. I'm kind of disappointed in the smoke element because, you know, it sucks. Next off is bees, and I think bees is just mid. Okay, that's what I'm meaning when in B tier. It is just kind of the mid tier. They're just okay, you know. And to start this off, I think dragon almost defines the word. I said this in my last tier list, and it hasn't really changed. I think it will though. Okay, I definitely think dragon and angel with awakening's coming, and with those two probably going to be the ones getting an awakening. Those abilities are bound to move. Like their tiers are bound to move. So be watching out for that. This tier list could be incorrect by the time awakenings happen, because dragon could become way better. But right now it's mid. It's not too bad, not too good. What saves dragon the most though is its boss damage. It is like, it doesn't do a lot well. It does not clear dungeons well. It clears them incredibly slow, because the entire dragon stick is damage over time. It does a lot of damage, but it does that damage for a longer period of time. That's how it's designed. But because it was designed like that, it makes clearing dungeons really slow and not fun. And then you get to the boss, and you can do some considerable damage with this with dragon. If you're good and you're using its abilities properly, you can do good damage with it. So I think it's in the B tier. It's more of it specializes in boss damage. It does, but it's just a B tier. I mean, it's good. It's got its upside, boss damage, but it's got its downside. It's going to take you 20 minutes to clear dungeons. So, you know. Next off in this is lightning. I think it's like the mid version of epics. It's better than ice and smoke, but it's clearly not as good as light. I think it's a nice epic. When I think the devs are making epics, they should make them like lightning, because it's not too good. It's not too bad. It just feels like what an epic should feel like. And I like that a lot. It's got a good arsenal. It mainly clears dungeons like pretty quick, because a lot of its abilities are like, they're kind of like snappy, they're quick, they're burst damage. You can like just kill an enemy, and just keep like rolling through the dungeon. So it's, when you have elements like that, it makes them also fun to use. So I kind of like lightning a lot, and I'm a little biased, but I think it deserves to be here. But I think right under dragon. I think dragon's better. Next off is gravity. Gravity's another one of these elements like nature, where like nature I'd put like right in between here. I'd put like gravity like right in between here as well. I think gravity could easily be argued down or up. It's just it's just a bad legendary. It's just not good. There's not too much to say about it. Everybody who's used it knows that it's not good. It needs a buff. And I know it's not getting an awakening. I think this one is, out of the legendaries, just the one that needs it the most. So I hope they do an awakening for it. I don't know. I think they should just rework this whole element. Like the meteor ability. Oh, it's awful. It's awful. I used this ability real early because I was just switching off a dragon. I want to try other stuff, and I tried this, and it was so much worse. It was so much worse, but it's still better than the rares and smoke and ice, in my opinion. Yeah, I think that's all for B tier. You could definitely argue it down though. All right, so next off we have probably the element that, I mean, it's an A tier through and through. That's light. Light is good. It's been good since it's been here. It's been solid. Hasn't really moved much. It's just really good. It clears dungeons fast. It's got really good burst damage. It's got good boss damage. It's great corrupted. It's just an all-around solid element that can hold its weight corrupted, even in like Underworld. Like even in Underworld, you can kind of get by using light. It'll drop off when you hit the boss, but it's surprising to see anything under a mythic be able to hold in Underworld. And light can, and it's an epic. So like if you're spinning a banner, spin with that thing on light if you can, you know? Because it's just so good. It's so good for an epic. You know, it's not the best in the game, but for an epic, it's kind of like lava. Lava and light are kind of like the broke man's mythic. You know, really good alternatives if you can't quite get lucky enough to get a mythic. And that brings me to my next one, lava. Lava's got to be on here as well. Lava, its donut ability, I don't even remember the name of the ability, okay, but its donut ability, when I was using that corrupted, it was good. It was close to being on par with like a mythic. Now, mythics are better, but corrupted lava is really good. But I am just saying lava in general. Lava in general can clear dungeons fast. It's got solid boss DPS. It's got a great kit of abilities. It doesn't really have a weakness. Maybe you could argue its minions aren't that great because, I mean, I don't even like the minions that much. It's kind of why I don't like Reaper all that much. It's because I just don't like the minions, so I don't really like it. But everything else in this kit is pretty good. It's not even pretty good, really good. Like, other than the mythics, I think Lava has the best kit, and it's also really well-rounded in the sense that it can clear dungeons fast. It can do boss DPS. It's just fun to use. And it's good. Next, this is going to be a little surprising, but I have Angel and A. I know the Angel element by itself is not good. Angel element by itself is not good. But with the recent sword buffs, it is. Because sword users are just Angel users. Because of the health boost you get from the transformation. Well, I don't know if they even call it a transformation, but you know what I mean. The health boost you get, as well as the healing. This makes it really good in raids, specifically. Because in like UW raids, having all that extra health and that damage reduction is going to be insane. And especially for sword users. So when I'm saying Angel, right, I'm more saying sword users. And sword users are always using Angel. I shouldn't say always, like 99% of the time, because the optimal sword build is like Angel, 2 Magma's Edge, Underworld armor, health armor, and that's pretty much your sword build. And that's a really good build. So I'm putting it at A. I think an optimal sword build actually might jump Lava, but I can see you arguing it right below. I think these three are really close. Really close. But if you want to know where I think Angel is by itself, like without like sword builds, probably at the back of B, probably in here. It's not good by itself. Mostly it's good because of the damage reduction, and then you can use that damage reduction in tandem with swords as well as getting the healing, which a lot of people are going to like in raids, because that means in raids you're pretty much like a tank and a healer at the same time. That's awesome. That's amazing. And again, swords are like twice as good now, which immediately, in my opinion, makes Angel twice as good. But that's just my opinion. You might disagree with the logic that I'm using to place Angel this high, but you can't really disagree with the reasoning, if that makes any sense. So I think the devs have done a really good job at getting these mythics to a balanced state. For the longest time, there was always one that was like just better than the others by a margin, and they were constantly like balancing these mythics, but I think they're finally hitting a point where mythics feel like mythics. All mythics are better than all the other elements, which is how it should be, and none of them feel completely busted outside of one. Okay, but like Phantom, oh my god, Prime Phantom during the Halloween event was insane. Okay, it was actually nuts. Like, how they made an element that overpowered is beyond me. But with that, I'm putting all of them in at the same time because I think they're all narrow. Like the differential between these elements is close. I think mainly it comes down to playstyle and preference at the moment. I do think that these maybe Galaxy's a little better than Reaper, because Reaper, to get its Reaper rings, you need 3 of them. And also, Reaper's boring. Okay, Reaper's a boring element to play. I won't lie. And right now, the hardest raid is Underworld, and Galaxy is strong in Underworld. So that might be another reason why I were to just edge Galaxy over Reaper. But it's close. I think Phantom is better than those two. But it's more like they're all equal to or greater than each other. Like Phantom is equal to or greater than Galaxy. Galaxy is equal to or greater than Reaper. I think they're all really close, and I think that's how it should be. I think when choosing between mythics, it should be more like a play style and like a preference rather than like one is just better, like Phantom was for the longest time. Now for the final element, it's Kitsune. I don't know what it is with them, and when they release a new element, it just being broken. I don't really know how that keeps happening, but Kitsune is like Phantom was. It's just broken at the moment. It's overpowered, and I'm not saying it's more valuable than all the others. It's just better, right? And I think I said this at the start of the video. This isn't a value list, right? This isn't like that. Kitsune isn't more valuable than Phantom, but it is certainly better than it at the moment. It has no weakness at all anywhere. It's really fun to use. Its transformation is the best in the game. Its boss damage is crazy. It clears dungeons fast. It's got movement ability. It's got an M1. It's just got everything you could ask for in an element. And when you do the summoning for the Kitsune, it makes like these little cute chihuahua noises, which is also like, that's pretty cool. That alone probably makes it better than the other elements, if you're asking me. But if you're not, and you're going more based off of like, does it just do more damage? It also just does more damage. And it's its transformation. Oh my god, it's so good. It gives you more speed. It obviously gives you the damage reduction, but it also gives you a damage boost to some of your abilities. Like its tail whip. Its tail whip gets more range and hits like 4 times. So you're just getting this massive like chunk of damage, just like that, as on top of its M1 and all of its other abilities. And unlike Phantom in its prime was always boring, but just really good. The Phantom in its prime was just M1, barrage the boss, and that was it. You would just M1 all the enemies, barrage the boss. But Kitsune feels more like all of its abilities. You can use the M1, you can use just all of it. I don't remember the exact names. I know there's like Fox Bomb and Fox Nuke, but then they changed like the names periodically as well to something else. I don't know. And then they changed it back. So I also imagine there's going to be a lot of changes to Kitsune. I don't think it'll stay as busted as it is right now. I think it'll come down to earth just like Phantom did. Might take them a while because it took Phantom forever to finally get it to a point where it's now pretty balanced. But yeah, Kitsune is easily the best. I don't think that's even really arguable. I should have done this last time when I made my tier list. When I made my tier list last time, I just put like Phantom and all of them on the same, even though Phantom last time was probably up here. So I kind of just wanted to put the best one in a tier of its own, because I do think you can't really say Kitsune is on their level. It's definitely above, you know. In the same way, like Light is definitely not on Lightning's level. It's above it. So and that's about all for the tier list. I think this tier list is really solid. You could argue a few things around. You could probably argue, man, I don't even really know what you could argue, because obviously this is my own tier list, so I agree with everything on it. But so I have no idea. But if you do think something should move, comment that. Tell me what you think I messed up on the tier list. I'm always willing to hear people out and, you know, maybe update my opinion if I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. I think I did pretty good with this tier list. Better than I did with the last one. I think the last one was pretty good as well. And just remember not to use this tier list as a value list. So don't take this into trading thinking, you know, everything's value. Like for instance, Kitsune is better than Phantom, but Phantom has more trade value. So just keep that in mind, not a item value list. But yeah, that's all for today's video. Thanks for watching. Yeah, see ya.